With us right now, the president of Sterling Financial Advisors, Mr. Dan Hohweiler.
Good to see you, Ken. Nice bow tie.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's
color coordinated.
Yes, it is.
So
second compliment I got today on it. So thank you.
Did you tie it?
No, I do have, I think, 2 or 3 real bow ties that I can tie.
Oh
yes, my daughter gave them to me. I had to learn, and I can do it. The thing you have to learn is when you tie a bow tie, it's not supposed to look perfect.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Okay.
At least that's what I tell myself, so I don't have to worry. All right, today
that's how you justify it.
Exactly, yes. We're going to talk about something. You sent me an article from Money Talks called Financial Flubs That Force Older Workers to Delay Retirement. And interesting article that you sent here. And a lot of it is what I think people don't plan for or don't expect that I'm going to need this amount.
Well, obviously the biggest flub I think that comes into play is people don't start saving soon enough.
Right.
That's the biggest flub of all, actually.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to depend on inheritance from my parents or whatever it might be, and it doesn't come through like they'd hoped, or there's not as much as they had hoped, and so they haven't saved as much. And so I think the rising generation coming into retirement or planning for retirement, whether it's baby boomers or whoever, okay, is that they haven't started saving. They don't start thinking of savings until 50, 55, 60, you know, and that's the biggest flub, obviously.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is a generational thing.
Sure.
And also, you know, the generation that is mainly, you know, 40 to maybe 60 now, overall compared to their parents, per what they are making, their expenses are more. They're not getting a pension anymore for the most part.
Sure.
And so whatever income is coming in is going out almost
Cost of living goes up for each generation,
you
know. I mean, I read an article now that says the millennials or Gen X, I'm not sure which one it is, but they want to get their dream home as their first home. Right. You know, when I was growing up, I moved into a little apartment, then I hopefully got into a condo, then I got into a little 3-bedroom. You kind of did it, you know, in stages. Yeah. Now everybody kind of wants everything up front, and you know, they get saddled with this huge. Yeah. And we saw that in 2008 when the market crashed and people couldn't afford their mortgages anymore. Right. You know, they kind of went out and bought their dream homes, which they shouldn't have done, but you know, it's one thing to graduate, and you know, your parents, my parents, I remember my parents telling me their first mortgage payment was $50 a month, and their parents thought they were nuts. You know.
You're exactly right on that, and again, I think it's a generational thing. People want things a lot quicker today. But also, you know, again, I think people sometimes don't realize what they're going to need. People live longer now. And, you know, a perfect example is, I think it was yesterday, we had the woman on from the South County Outreach Program. They do the food pantry and things like that. And she told us there was a woman that came in who was 100 years old. She said, this is the first time we've had somebody that old. She was spry, she was up and about. And
had someone come to my seminar here, a month or 2 ago, sat down with him a couple of weeks ago. He actually sat down and says, I'm expecting modern technology and advances in healthcare to go. I'm expecting to live to be 105. Yeah. I mean, that's what he wanted his retirement plan to project out, is to live.
And that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have him project that long and not live that long than project to age 90 and live to 105.
Exactly, and that's what happened to this woman. She was going into the food bank, and she goes, you know what? I thought I'd be living to maybe 90, 92. Here I am 100.
Most of the people I sit down with that are 65, 70 years old, I say, so do we have another 20, 25? They say, oh, I hope not. You know, I hope not. You know, so longevity is what we call it now, comes into play that people don't plan for. So that's one of the flubs that people look at, is living longer and the expenses associated with that. Right. You know, so that comes into play as well.
And you know, you sent some figures here about, according to a poll, you know,
how much people expect they need.
Exactly. And about 24% thinks that they need about $500,000, and this is for workers 60 or older. $500,000 to $1 million, 25%, and then $1 million, 13%, and so on.
Depends on overhead.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're spending $2,500 a month and you're getting $2,000 a month from Social Security, the amount of money you need is much less, obviously, than those spending $10,000 a month and only getting $3,000 of Social Security.
Exactly.
So it all depends on what overhead is in planning in going forward. So what, you know, I think Prudential or somebody has it on TV. What's your number?
Right.
You know, what's your retirement number? Well, that is an individual thing. I had a couple come in the other day. He's at 67 and she's 65, and she's telling him he has to work till age 70 so they can get the highest Social Security benefit.
Right.
When we did the projections, they could retire now and they have more money with some conservative projections on their return on investments. So it's all perception of what you feel you need versus what you actually need versus what you have.
Right.
And so,
you know, another thing along with that, and we all know the cost of living in this area.
Sure.
Do you have people that come into you that are at an age where the kids are grown or just about grown, and our plan is to sell what we have here and move somewhere else?
Downsize.
Yeah, downsize or completely out of the area where, you know, you can get a home for $200,000.
You can go to Tennessee and get a home for $150,000. I was interested. I was at a business conference last week, and I was talking to a gentleman, and we were comparing. And he says, "Where are you from?" I said, "Southern California." I said, "Right near Disneyland." And he says, "Oh, houses probably are pretty." I said, "Well, if a really nice house, you know, could." You know, if you're getting 4 or 5 bedrooms, costs you $1 million or so. Yeah. He says, "Oh, that's not too bad." I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, mine only cost me $1.5 million." I said, "Well, how big is it?" He says, 10,000 square feet. So it was all relative as to the price that you get. He was in North Carolina, lived right on a lake on a $10,000 house, you know, or 10,000 square foot house, and out here it would probably buy a 3,000 square foot house. So it's all relative, but we do have a lot of people considering moving to Arizona or someplace that's not quite as expensive.
And you take that into account. You kind of look at, although the values can fluctuate on their home.
If that's what they would like us to project into their plan, that's what we can do.
Right.
I have an article that one of my clients actually sent me. They said when people don't do enough planning and don't have enough assets, they sell their house and end up buying a mobile home and living in their mobile home and traveling the country and living in these, you know, parks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm not sure that's what I want to do, but you know, that's an option if you don't have enough money. You know, you utilize the equity or whatever it might be, but yeah, it's all on what you're trying to accomplish.
And it's taking advantage of what may be there for you, 401ks.
Sure.
And if that's not available to you, there's IRAs and so on.
Obviously, if you're still working and you have the opportunity to invest in a 401k, the company is going to match. That's an automatic 25-30% return on your money.
Right.
You know, if you're contributing $1 and they're contributing 50% or 50 cents, that's a 50% return on your dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
Including what you may or may not earn in the market or the mutual fund that you're invested.
Right.
So I always say take advantage of company match if you can, you know.
Yeah.
And it's almost a forced savings where they're taking it out of your paycheck and you're not even seeing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously the flubs that you want to avoid is not overlooking additional expenses. Well, I'm not going to be spending as much. Well, you might be traveling more. Your health care costs might be a little bit more. So these are all things that you need to take into account as you're, you know, when we do our income planning, we try to project that a little bit higher income that they tell us they need, just to put a buffer in there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good way to go. Hey, tell us about, you got this new booklet out today.
We put together our new company brochure. It's called Our Story, and it kind of goes through an experience you have with us as a new client. Basically, it gives our history of what we're doing. Right in the middle, that's kind of interesting. We have a retirement quiz that people can take. That kind of gives them thing, then it talks about our annual reviews and things. So it's a very nice company brochure that kind of gives you an overall feel for what we are as a company and how we operate with people. And if somebody would like that, we'd be happy to send that to you.
Yeah, it's great. I like the first question. Have you seen in person your financial advisor within the past 12 months? I would say yes for me.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing. And
but
so
yeah,
you get
it's
points,
a great little thing.
You get points for the quizzes, and it tells you at the end what you do, and then it talks about that weather report, that income weather report that we do, and how we operate. But we just got this through here not too long ago, and we thought if somebody would like a copy of that, we'd be happy to send it. They can contact our office, and we'd be happy to send that out.
All right, very good. And of course, they're located in Mission Viejo off of Cerro, which is right by the Social Security office. So it's not far at all.
They can give us a call at 949-859-8900.
Yes, that's sterlingfa.com.
Sterlingfa.com. They can contact our website and give us a call.
Yeah, definitely. And they do a nice, you send out an email every so often. And
we send out.
You can have recipes in there.
We do. My wife has recipes that she's put together, and it's kind of a fun email.
Yeah.
We talk about some of our client events that we've had, and then right at the end we'll probably have a financial story or two. But it's not the typical email that we send out.
Yeah, it's nice.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. You take care.
All right.
And we'll be right back.
All right. Bye-bye.